This video shows how to apply for a work permit online if you are requesting asylum and have already submitted an asylum application, Form I-589. In this video, we will first talk about filing Form I-765, the work permit application, online versus in the mail, and second, guide you through the online application question by question. This video is about applying online for a work permit based on asylum, but you can also apply by mail. Below this video, you can find a link to a different video about the paper work permit application. If you apply online, you may get your work permit faster. Also, the online system immediately confirms that you filed your work permit application and will send you a notice when USCIS makes a decision. Whether you are applying for your work permit online or by mail, you must wait at least 150 days after filing your asylum application before you can apply for your initial work permit. USCIS requires a fee. Below this video, you can find a link to information about the current fee. Now we will look at the online application. We will go question by question. Please note, the application is currently available only in English. And remember, the information I typed during this video is not for a real person. You should fill in your own information. Also, because most ASAP members use cell phones to access the internet, this video will show the process on a phone. But the questions on the form are the same on a computer, the buttons may just be in a different place. Ready? Here we go.
First, you will need a USCIS account if you do not already have one. On any internet browser, go to my.uscis.gov. Click up here on Menu on the upper right side. If you do not have an account, choose Create Account here. Then enter an email address and choose a password to create your account. If you already have a USCIS account, choose Sign In here and enter your email and password. If you have difficulty creating an account or signing in, we provide links below to USCIS web pages that can help.
Once you are in, you will sometimes see a screen that looks like this. If you do, choose this option, My USCIS.
This is the home page. Go to the top right to Menu with the 3 lines. Open it, choose Account Actions, then choose File a Form Online. You will see this message that the system automatically saves the work that you do. If you do not complete everything at one time, you can return later to finish. But if you do not make changes after 30 days, the form gets erased. Now, move down to select the form you want to file online. Scroll down and choose I-765 Application for Employment Authorization. Move down and select Start Form. This next page has a lot of information. Read the rest of this page. It has a lot of useful information. After you read this page, click Next. This next page describes laws about the privacy of your information. After you read it, click Start. Before we answer these next questions, here is how to navigate between pages of this application. Find this bar near the top that says I-765, Application for Employment Authorization. Open that. The bold text shows where you are. We are in the Getting Started section and the Basis of Eligibility page. If you click other sections like About You or Evidence, you see pages that come later and could move to those. But we recommend completing the form page by page in order, clicking Next at the bottom of each page. That is because your answers in early sections can change the questions that display in later sections. If a question on this form does not apply to you, you can leave it blank. Do not worry. If you leave a required question blank, the system will alert you at the end, and you can go back to complete it. And if you do not know the answer to a question, you can answer unknown. Okay, now we answer questions. On this page, you explain why you are eligible for a work permit. If you are seeking a work permit because you have already applied for asylum, you will choose category C8 in this menu. C8 is one of the categories where you are allowed to apply online. Scroll down to this question. Even if you are from El Salvador or Guatemala, most people will answer no. You might only answer yes if you were already in the United States and in a legal process before 1991. Now, we click Next to save our answers and move on to the next page. If you are applying for your first work permit as an asylum seeker, click here, Initial Permission to Accept Employment. If you are applying to replace a lost or stolen card, click this middle option. But if you are applying to renew an expiring work permit, click this third option, Renewal of Permission to Accept Employment. For our example today, we will click the first option. The next question asks, have you previously filed Form I-765? Select No if this is the first time you're applying for a work permit. But if you have ever had a work permit before in any category, select Yes. Also select Yes if you applied for a work permit before, but your application was denied. In that case, it is still okay to mark Initial for the question above, if this will be your first work permit. Now scroll down and choose Next to continue. This next page asks if someone is assisting you to complete the application. If you are doing your own application, click No. But if someone is helping you, click Yes. If you'll click Yes, you'll notice that additional questions appear below. It will also add pages later in the form for information about the person helping. For this example, we will go back and click No. Then we click Next. Now, we are in the About You section. Here, type your name carefully. This is how your name will appear on your work permit. I am just entering a fake name for our example.
If you have ever used another name, click Yes to this next question and type in your previous names. Otherwise, click No, then click Next to continue. Here, add your phone number. If you only have one phone number, check this box. Now, type your email address. Next, it asks for your mailing address. Do this part carefully. You do not want your work permit to get lost because of a mistake. If someone else receives mail for you, write their name here where it says "in care of." Otherwise, leave that blank. Here, you put your number and street. For example, 123 Main Street. On this next line, if you live in an apartment, write that number. For example, apartment B20. Then you write your city. I'm just making up the name of a city. Choose your state from this drop-down menu and write your zip code. Those are the digits, the numbers that come at the end of your address. If you live at the same address where you receive mail, click Yes here. Do not worry about this error message. It is showing me that because I entered an imaginary address. I'll ignore it. If you live at a different address, click No, and it will ask you to add the address where you live if that's different from where you receive mail. When you finish this page, click Next to move forward. Here, choose your gender and your marital status. Again, click Next to save your answers and move forward. Now, complete this information about your place of birth. I'm just typing in some random answers here. Next, write your date of birth. Write the month, then the day, then the year. For example, March 20th, 1994 would be 03/20/1994. Click Next. Here, choose your country of citizenship. If you entered the United States with a visa, you may have an I-94 number. If you do not, or you are not sure, it is okay to leave this blank. Next, write the date you arrived in the United States. This may be on your immigration documents. If you are not 100% certain of the date, you can leave it blank. For place of arrival, you will see a long menu with hundreds of options. You may find your place of arrival on your immigration documents. If you are unsure or cannot find the information, you can scroll down and choose Unknown. But an easier way is to tap in the rectangle and type the letters UN to jump to Unknown. For Status at Last Arrival, choose from another long drop-down menu. If you entered the United States on a visa, like a B2 tourist visa, you can choose that from the list. If you are not sure what your status was when you last arrived in the United States, you can choose UN, Unknown None,
or not reported. For passport number, enter the number of your passport even if the passport is expired. If you do not have that number or do not know it, it is okay to write none or unknown. Most people do not have a travel document number. If you think you do not have one, you may leave it blank. For what is the expiration date of your passport or travel document, write the date from your passport. If you do not have a passport or know this date, you can skip this question. Here, choose the country that issued your passport. If you never had a passport, choose the blank space at the top of this list and move forward. For what is your current immigration status or category? If you submitted an asylum application and you do not also have another immigration status, or if you are not sure of the name of your other status, you can choose 999 Alien Awaiting Decision of Asylum. The easiest way to find that is to tap the rectangle and start typing 999. This next question only applies if you are in the United States on a student visa. If you do not have a student visa, leave this blank. Click Next to save these answers. The next question asks for your A number. This 9-digit number, sometimes also called a file number, will be on most immigration documents. I'm going to type a fake number here, so it'll probably show us an error message. Below this video, you can find a link to help you find your A number. The next question asks for your USCIS online account number. If you do not have one or cannot find it, check this box. Checking this box will not cause problems with your application. This next question asks if you have ever been arrested for or convicted of any crime in any country. This does not include being detained by U.S. Border Patrol agents. If you answer yes, you will be asked to upload additional documents later in the application. If you answer yes or are unsure, we recommend that you talk with a lawyer about your case if you can. Below this video, you can find a link to help you find legal assistance near where you live. But for today's example, we are selecting no and clicking next. Good news! You have now answered most of the questions on the form. Now comes the part where you upload evidence. If you are applying using your phone, you can use your camera to take photos, choose from saved photos, or upload files. Make sure that photos are clear and that they show the entire document. You will need, number 1, a digital photo of your face. Number 2, a Form I-94 or a passport if you have either of those documents. Number 3, an ID. If you are renewing your work permit, this should be your current work permit card. If you are applying for your first work permit, this should be a passport or another government-issued photo ID. And number 4, proof that you have filed your Form I-589, the asylum application. So here's the first evidence, a photograph of yourself. Follow the instructions on this page carefully to take or upload a clear photograph of your face. The page will tell you if your photo meets the requirements. Sometimes you have to try multiple times. As you can see here, the photo I tried taking with my camera didn't meet the requirements. I may have to choose a photo that I have saved in my phone. Once you see a green mark that the system has accepted the photo of your face, like usual, click Next to save your answers and move forward. On this second evidence page, upload your Form I-94 or a passport if you have one. Some people receive a Form I-94 when they enter the United States. If you do not have a Form I-94, you can upload a copy of the page of your passport showing your photo, plus any pages with stamps. If ICE took your passport, see a link below this video about how you may be able to get a copy of it. So we'll scroll to the bottom of this page to upload files. I'm going to use my camera. And here you can see an example of a passport page showing the photo, plus a page that has stamps from when a person entered. You may not have those. And then here are some examples of that form called the I-94. Taking a photo, I'm going to use it. After you upload, you'll see a new box appearing down here where you indicate whether the document you uploaded was a Form I-94 or a passport. I'll choose passport. If you do not have a Form I-94 or a passport to upload, you can click Next. You will see this warning saying you should provide evidence. You may want to go up here to the navigation bar, go to the additional information section, and add a written explanation of why you do not have a passport. Then you return to the Form I-94 or passport page, click Next. Now you ignore that warning and continue on. On this third evidence page, you are asked for an ID, short for identity document. If you already have an employment authorization document, another name for work permit, upload an image of both the front and back of your work permit card. If you do not have a work permit, upload another ID issued by any government that includes your photo, name, and date of birth. That could be your passport again. If the document is not in English, you must include a translation with a certificate of translation. You can find an example certificate of translation in the links below this video. So once again, we go down to upload files. I'm going to use my camera. You can see here we have some sample documents of a work permit. And if you don't have a work permit, another government issued ID with photo. I'll take a picture, upload it, and in a moment, it'll show that it uploaded, and I click Next to save and move on. On this fourth evidence page, you must provide evidence of submitting your asylum application at least 150 days ago. For example, You could upload your asylum application receipt notice from USCIS or the stamped first page of your I-589 asylum application that you filed in immigration court, or a copy of your next hearing notice in immigration court. You may upload multiple documents. It gave me an error message here because I didn't use a real document. Click Next to save. These next pages only apply to people in specific situations. If these do not apply to you, you can click Next without uploading any documents. You will see this error message saying you should provide evidence, but you can click Next again to keep moving forward. If you need to provide additional information for any question on the form, you can. Most people do not have to complete this section, but if you do, click Add a Response, choose the section, choose the page, choose the question, and you can type your additional response there. We are almost finished. This is the review page. If the website finds missing information, you will see a red box to go back. If you do not know the answer to a required question, you can write unknown, then return to this page. When you see this green box with a check mark, click Next. Here, you can review or print all your answers. It is okay if some answers are blank. When you finish, click Next. Here, check the box if you agree that you understood the questions on the application. Click Next. This page is where you sign. Read it carefully. Then, check this box, type your full name. I'm typing the name that we entered in the beginning of the application. Then, click Next. This is the final page to submit your application. This page will include instructions to pay the fee.
After you have completed the online application, check your USCIS account frequently. Within 1 day after you submit your application, you should see a document called your receipt notice. After you submit, you will also see options on your online account to add additional documents to your application, make changes, or track the progress of your case. If you want to apply for a work permit online for your spouse or child, each person will need a separate USCIS online account and will need to do a separate work permit application. When you upload evidence, you will need to include documents to prove your family relationship in the Form I-589 evidence section. Find a link for information about how to apply for your spouse or child below this video. We hope that this video is helpful. You can find links to other useful information below this video. Thank you for being part of the ASAP community.